Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Bolling. Welcome to Cashin In. Our Cashin In crew this week, Mr. Wayne Rogers, Jonathan Honig, Michelle Fields, and Jessica Ehrlich. Welcome, everybody. All the crazy violence breaking out in Iraq, sending oil prices and gas prices higher in the U.S. While we can't stop what seems like endless clashes over in the Mideast, there is something we can do right here in America to cut our dependence on foreign oil, especially Mideastern oil. I'm talking about the Obama administration letting us drill more, frack more, and finally build that Keystone pipeline. Michelle, your thoughts. Is it high time President Obama moves on these energy initiatives?
Absolutely, and right now especially, because this is peak demand period, right? Americans are going on vacation, they're going on road trips, and they're going to have to spend a ton of money. We first and foremost need to approve the Keystone pipeline. We need to allow energy development on federal lands, because right now it's just happening on state and private. And we need to speed up our natural gas and oil exports, because if we reduce other countries' dependence on bad countries like Russia and the Middle East region, well, then we can reduce their influence, we can reduce their wealth.
John, 368 national average for a gallon of gasoline here. When President Obama took over, it was 183. So we've literally gone up 100%. And as we know, President Obama, he's no friend to a lot of the carbon-based energy sources, right?
Indeed, Eric. I mean, our policy should be, when it comes to energy, laissez-faire, hands off. We should be deregulating more than anything. There's 10 federal regulators when it comes to energy. There's even more on a state level. And of course, it's government and the green philosophy behind it that you alluded to that has made oil and energy production so difficult in this country. But I have to say, I think this whole notion of, well, drill here and explore here and forget the Middle East, I think, unfortunately, that confirms the criticism of the neocons that our war was only about oil. It wasn't. It was about the 70-plus terrorist attacks against this country from Islamic jihadist movements since the 1970s. And avoiding Middle East oil isn't going to change that.
Well, I'm going to take the other side of that, Jonathan. I think avoiding Middle East oil will, in fact, change that. Right now, we're about 60% energy independent. If you take in Mexico and Canada, we're pushing almost 80%. We only have about 2 or 3 million barrels to get off of the Middle East. Let me go to Jessica. Jessica, I wanted you to take 1 minute and let me explain a couple of maps. First, let's put up a map of the United States, and we're talking about offshore drilling in the United States. Now, under President Bush, he lifted the moratorium in that green area around the outside of the United States. That became drillable for natural gas and oil. Under President Obama, he's proposed to take those acres offline and making it from green to red, which means not able to be drilled. So if we're not bringing more oil and natural gas to the American people, obviously, Jessica, prices are going to go up. It's time to change, no?
Well, we have right now, actually, as you were just saying, I mean, we're already 60% off of dealing with just our oil coming from the Middle East. But what happens is you're looking at overall global prices and global increases and a global economic hit that's happening because we are in a global economy. And so when the price of oil is going up because of what's happening in Iraq, it actually is affecting the entire economic recovery that we're in. And we're going to feel that pinch regardless because oil and gas companies are international. What we need to be focusing on is continuing to have a long-term solution instead of short-term fixes so that we're focusing on research and development and ways to increase an alternative energy future so that we're looking to things like solar, where we've got more of these electric cars, where we've got wind energy.
But Keystone Pipeline is looking long-term. Why not approve the Keystone Pipeline?
Well, that's definitely something that obviously has been on the table, and I know there are a lot of folks that are for the Keystone Pipeline, for at least finishing it. And, you know, the administration is continuing to get reports on it. And hopefully we'll see some sort of...
They're getting good reports, and they don't want to approve it.
Just hang on, you guys. Hang on. I want to bring Wayne in here because Michelle makes a very good point. Keystone Pipeline will bring another 700,000 or 800,000 barrels of Canadian crude into the United States. As it is, that would take out almost all of our Saudi imports, so about 1.2 million from the Saudis. So you're talking really a few 100,000 barrels a day out of the Mideast. We would be almost independent of the Middle Eastern oil if we just approved Keystone.
Well, we're practically there now, Eric. We're pretty much independent of Middle Eastern oil. The fracking has done a lot of that in the Bakken and those other areas. I think, though, that but not only approving the Keystone Pipeline does something else for us, too. It helps our job situation. It creates an enormous number of jobs. Secondly, it reduces not only our dependence on oil, but it provides us an ongoing source of oil from Canada that's in the Western Hemisphere. There are a lot of things that are good about that. Why it's not being done is beyond me. I don't understand that. I don't understand what the political part of that is. And the energy, let me finish, please, if you will. Energy used, you know, for strategic reasons, and it's becoming more and more that way. We talk about Russia. Germany gets about 40% of its energy from Russia. The strategic reasons that the energy is being used are being imbalanced in disfavor of us, and we need to correct that.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
The only thing we need to do, we keep saying we need to do this, we need to do that. The only thing we need to do is declare war on jihad. That's the threat from the Middle East. I mean, saying if we stop our dependence, it's like saying, would the Nazis have left us alone if we stopped buying German sausage during World War II? No, I mean, these people want to kill us for fundamental reasons, and I think getting off Middle Eastern oil isn't going to change that.
Are you not conflating two different issues right here? Are you not talking about, yes, we want to thwart terror because we want the country to be safer, but what we're talking about specifically right here is as prices go up here, energy costs go up, things aren't getting any better economically. So the middle class is getting, and the lower class, frankly, is getting squeezed the worst.
Well, absolutely, and that's a global economic issue.
John, go.
We should be drilling and exploring, Eric, for our own self-interest. But I think to suggest that it's going to do anything about the threat from terror and from Islamic terror in the Middle East, I think isn't just wishful thinking. I think it's naive.
Prices right now, not
Jonathan,
terror.
Well, what video are we showing?
Well, we're showing video. Hold on, guys, hang on. We're showing video because what's going on in Iraq has the potential to take 3 million barrels of oil off the market, which would make prices go up. That's why we're showing this video. Go ahead, Michelle. We are talking about domestic oil and energy prices, though. Go ahead.
Look, energy development right now on federal lands is at has been going down for 3 years under this administration. In 2009, it was at 35%. Now it's down to 23%. We need to take advantage of this. Why aren't we drilling on federal lands? It's because this administration has put in all of these environmental reviews, and it's taking a long time to approve all of these permits because they don't want to. These are jobs. This can lead to prosperity for this country. That's what we need right now.
All right, I'm going to give Jessica the last word on this before we move on.
We really need to be focusing here, not just on the short term when it comes to oil and gas. We've got the oil and gas, as everyone has said. We need to be focused on what our alternative energy future is going to be, how we can lead, how we can have the best technology in the world. That's one example. There are so many opportunities here. This is what we do. We are Americans. We create new technologies.
Yes, and let's approve the Keystone pipeline. That's what Americans want.
Okay, that's it. We have to leave it there.